마운틴 듀 GSL 시즌 1 리제너레이션.
Wow, a lot of 2-0s today. It almost doesn't even feel that way, but I guess it is true, isn't it?
Well, especially that FanTaSy Leenock series was so close and back and forth. FanTaSy playing this really cool new style, and I mean, it might say 2-0, but that truly does not tell the true story.
Yes. Well, FanTaSy now going up against Impact. Impact obviously got to see all Leenock tried and the type of style that FanTaSy really wants to bring. So does he go with the flow? Does he know a counter? Or does he T-bone this strategy?
Well, I mean, we saw in that game too that it does take a while for this battle mech style that FanTaSy is playing to get its feet off the ground. And if Impact has a strat that hits before that, I don't know. I mean, FanTaSy did try a lot versus TY and just got totally shut down. So if Impact can hold off that, I think he'll be in a good spot.
Right, Kairos Junction going to be our first map. Let's get into it and see who's going to advance to the round of 16.
마운틴 듀 GSL 시즌 1 리제너레이션. 게임이 시작됩니다. 카이로스 정션. 게임 준비 완료.
All right, down to the bottom right in the blue is our Zerg player.
Impact.
And in the upper right in the red, our Terran player.
Player 1 FanTaSy.
I wonder if he is also ready.
Certainly.
I feel like if you're on team player 1, by necessity, you would also have to be ready.
The game doesn't start till you're ready. But
Okay.
player 2 sometimes could be not ready because player 1's controller controls everything.
Ah.
Now, this is a pool first.
Ooh. Is that perhaps... I guess it's not the fastest hatchery you could build.
No, because he
Okay.
went pool first.
Yes.
But the pool first, if I had to guess here, I think that the plan of Impact is to do that thing where you run around the Reaper path, and then
Oh,
the
yeah.
Reaper comes to your base, and then suddenly Lings show up and can mess with the CC that's building.
Now, how hard is he going to go into this? There's gas already on the way, so that was pool hatch gas.
Yeah, no, it's pretty much a macro build aside from this. You run the Zerglings around, and that's that. That's what you're doing.
That's cool to see their record. I guess they did actually play against each other. It's hard.
Oh, what was the record? I didn't see
It was
that.
1-2 FanTaSy, I believe. Well, I forget who was on which side. But the idea is that they have played before. I guess it was just one series. It's hard for me to remember the previous era of FanTaSy.
It did exist. He played in GSL and stuff.
Yeah, it absolutely did. He did make it to... He had some okay results. I think he did pretty well in some of the international tournaments he went to, but certainly nothing like his previous accomplishments. And yeah, he's doing exactly what you said, Artosis.
Yeah, so FanTaSy actually made a Marine as opposed to, another add-on. And the second he saw that hatchery was not complete, he turned around the Reaper, so that'll be here in a second. So FanTaSy holds this immaculately.
Yeah, only 2 SCVs lost. He could actually have chosen to save the Zerglings, but instead he was going for SCV kills, and he didn't get hardly any.
Yeah, this went very well for FanTaSy. I think it was a fine idea, because if FanTaSy makes any misstep there, a lot of people would, make like Reactor after the Reaper or something like that. Actually, I think nowadays you see the Marine reasonable amount, but either way, there's a lot of ways you can get lucky with that build.
No, I love the skill test style. It's like, look, can you hold on in this complicated situation? This is the WarioWare of StarCraft 2. It's like, well, how many of these mini games can you play and beat successfully?
WarioWare.
You ever play WarioWare?
No.
It's like
Sounds like
it's like Mario Party. Yeah, a little bit, but way more fun and less anger-inducing. I suck at Mario Party, man. I've never won a game of Mario Party ever.
Oh, I'm a king.
Oh god.
We should play sometime.
Absolutely not.
Farm
I won't play.
MMORPG.
I won't play Mario Party. I won't play Mario Kart. Those are like Monopoly tier games for me. They just ruin all of my relationships.
Oh my gosh. Third command center on the way, and Stim on the way. So, FanTaSy saying I can play more than one style.
I mean, we'll see. Honestly, I just want to see him. I want to put him in a jail cell and force him to play that previous style over and over again until I'm happy, because it is just so beautiful to watch him do that very well. But I think we got to get to flesh things out a little bit here. And it's like, okay, well,
now we can kind of figure out like what does his bio play look like if he's not a one-hit wonder with strategies or builds. Like, you know, it's good to see people have that range. And, you know, it can be a little bit hard to figure out that that's going on. Now, Impact, like, I mean, obviously he gets way more practice against just regular bio play than the weird thing FanTaSy did. So.
FanTaSy Hellions, man, they're just so good. He's continuing to get a lot of damage done. Let's see if he gets any more off of this. Catches the return. 2 more.
8 kills.
4 Hellions.
Yeah, not bad. He loses his Reaper too, but not bad. Won't have map control for a little bit, but Stim's going to finish up, so he can just start to go across the map anyways.
Oh, here we go. Doesn't look like Impact wants to let that happen.
Well, I mean, this is not really... Why is that drone coming? I have no idea.
The advanced guard from another world.
The roaches aren't even going to do anything. Stim's done, and 2 medevacs are going to be done.
So what is this timing we're supposed to hit here?
I don't think it is one. I think he's just like showing them. It's like, hey, look at me. I have roaches.
All right. Explorer drones returns successful. Lives to tell the tale. I've seen things.
Okay. So the couple medevacs coming out. With just a few roaches out. Not going to be the easiest thing to deflect this. Evos and eBays are pretty close on build time, so that's good. We've been seeing a lot of Zergs be behind on upgrades in GSL so far.
You know what I guess that was is like another little tiny stress test. It's like maybe you have your tank a little bit slow or out of position. You can like take a depot or something, but you do still have to not die to things like this.
Wow, good targeting.
Wow.
Picking off Queens and Ravagers, not bad.
Those are expensive. Also, he loses nothing. So
maybe a Marine or 2.
Okay, well, okay, actually nothing. Marine lives do not matter, Artosis.
Yeah, that's quite true. Collectively they do, but singles, nah.
Wow. We just survived
Happy
Singles
Valentine's
Awareness Day.
Happy Valentine's Day, everybody. Single Marines don't matter.
It's okay. You and Tasteless took me on a nice date, so I wasn't super single there.
Yeah.
There's actually a size of bed in Korea. There's single, and then between single and twin, there's a size called super single. And I'm just like, well, I guess that's the bed you get if you're not having a good
I'm confused.
Valentine's
Is
Day.
it just like in case you roll around in bed or something?
It's like a slightly bigger size.
Okay.
So, I was just like, I don't know if your naming convention works well with a prime demographic, but we'll take it. Either way, the point is that FanTaSy is like actually still being very proactive. He's continuing to get out on the map, do little tiny pickups like this. He's not just sitting back and letting the player get away with tiny missteps.
Well, it seems like Impact might be going for that same Roach Ravager build that we saw before against TY. Yeah, see, he's got a Drop Lord and everything, so this is something he did previously. I mean, I wonder if FanTaSy will be able to hold this like TY did.
Well, I think, let's see, TY held it because he scouted the first Dropper Lord and got kind of lucky there. And
Yeah,
then the second one.
He scouted that, and don't forget, like, he was pretty on top of everything that game. I mean, TY always is.
Yeah.
I guess we are about to see how FanTaSy does against this.
Now, there's no missile turrets here, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah,
so that Dropper Lord.
Better.
Oh, he boosted a medevac into his main. Maybe that's. Oh, look at that.
Good catch.
Complete.
Well, he doesn't see it, but the survey says.
Yeah, he knows because it flew over the mineral patches on the third.
Ah, get out. All right, well, here comes the big one. The big kahuna, the push. On top of everything, the siege tanks on the low ground certainly dead, but that one on the high ground getting a lot of great shots off Artosis.
Certainly, he needs that vision. Okay, there we go. Throws down those vials, gets the siege tank on high ground, and gets all the siege tanks really so far. Throwing down some more vials. Oh, actually hitting and taking down a medevac with vials. Very nice.
Yeah, can't afford to take too many losses here, but just resetting the tank count has to be a little bit of a win.
Definitely it is. This is starting much better than it did against TY. TY kept a lot of siege tanks alive for a very, very, very long time, and they were placed brilliantly. Like, for instance, that's a good placement on a siege tank, but oh, I don't know.
What are those guys doing?
Oh, he's flying him over. Okay, so he's going to give up this third base. This is a good choice by FanTaSy, and I like that he's going to go counter harass because he realizes that this is like a losing battle. He'll take too much damage.
Oh, look at this. Oh, yeah. God. All right, so that's really cool. He's going to slow the retreat.
Yeah, he caught some reinforcements there. He's forcing these units back to chase him a little bit, and that buys FanTaSy more time as well. In the meantime, there's actually a transition occurring here for Impact. He felt like he had to stay on it, which I don't think he was wrong about because he did so little damage to TY.
Yeah.
Here, he didn't really hurt FanTaSy's economy very much, but he definitely picked off some very key units. So he's continuing his upgrades. He's re-droning, Spire, Baneling Nest, all important stuff.
Okay, and it's important to notice that, you know, Impact got a chance to watch FanTaSy's dismantling of Leenock. He's got to look at that and be like, okay, well, you know, at least maybe I know what I could have done better in those situations. But now FanTaSy's pulling out a whole new style here. And I love that Impact is such a good player, maybe a little bit underrated, because he is reacting to this super well, holding it off. I don't know, what would you say, Artosis? Obviously, there's been a little bit of damage done on either side, but it feels like Impact is reacting correctly to everything.
Yeah, well, I think, you know, he did take some extra damage from the Hellions early on. There was no reason that should have done as much damage as it did. He was kind of out of position. I think what I like here is he dictated the game heavily with his build order, which Zerg doesn't get to do too often. Okay. Like, a lot of times Zerg has to be a bit more reactive. No. He hits himself as much as Medvex. But I like that he looked at the amount of tanks he killed, the type of damage he did, and then he transitioned. That's what I like about Impact's game this game.
Both players just really knowing when to pull back. For FanTaSy, he knew to kind of give up that base and boost out onto the map to try to intercept some reinforcements and maybe get some harassment done. Both players seem to have a really good kind of picture about where this game actually is.
The burrowed Ling is beautiful. That is so annoying for Terran to have to go over there with units and scan.
Nice way to pick off all the Banelings. One getting a little bit close. He stims out of range of that. He's not actually killing the Baneling, but he outruns everything else.
Yeah, right now 3-3 on the way for FanTaSy. Drilling Claws as well. Both sides getting lots of upgrades. Infestation Pit is going to be finishing shortly here, so certainly we will be seeing the Hive on the way.
Continuing to micro to get just every tiny little advantage. He has a ton of bio in the middle of the map. I don't know about these mutas, Artosis. I mean, he's mixed them in. Maybe they pick off some medevacs, but maybe they also just die.
Well, if he can force the lift off, I guess that's what he's really going for. Wow, he hits his own Banelings with biles. Yeah, the muta flank didn't make any sense unless FanTaSy was going to pick up, and we're not on creep, so it doesn't seem like he can really be forced.
I think Impact thought that he was going to punk FanTaSy a little bit, be like, hey, I'm big and scary, lift up and run away, and then catch him with the mutas. But
yeah, maybe.
FanTaSy knew. He knows.
Definitely a smart player here. He's getting some great micro down. And look at that, picking off that 6th base, so that's nice.
Yeah, exactly where he's supposed to be, when he needs to be there. Yeah, these mutas are just like not really, I guess, accomplish what they were going for. Now, there's a Thor out back here to defend a couple of them in siege tanks, but Roach is finding the one vulnerability. The Achilles heel in FanTaSy's defense.
Yeah, this is him actually trading supply as best he can.
Yeah.
Like, look at that. Look what he's focusing down. He's going to force some scans and stuff. It's actually a really cool move. He just doesn't want roaches anymore.
Baneling. I didn't even see that. Sorry to interrupt.
Yeah,
I thought that was funny.
Nice. No, that was... but yeah, I like what Impact is doing here. It's a full transition. Like, he'll keep the Ravagers because they're just kind of always useful. But definitely the Roaches just lose efficacy over time. And to get rid of them so he can fit more Lingbane Muta while he goes up to Hive, I really quite like. And if he goes into... Oh, that's a nice pickoff.
Yeah, this is those mutas doing what they were meant to do.
Yeah, no, this is crazy. But if he goes right into Ultras while getting Adrenal in his 3-3, that's amazing. Like, I really like how he's playing it.
It also seems like he's finally gotten a feel for, like, okay, what are these mutas supposed to do? He's gonna, I guess he doesn't magic box over the Thor, but oh, 6th save! Keeps the Thor alive for another day while his Brother Thor is going to go down on the other side. It looks like he's starting to clean up the mute account, but both Thors are down, and really is so much else of his army. The supply plummeting, 42 to 90s.
Impact just smashing through this right now. This is just about game. Like, FanTaSy does not have any chance at this point, I would say.
No, he does not. Losing so many SCVs. He was never able to get beyond really that third base. And I mean, now Impact just running away with it. Going to take out another one.
Down that command center goes. Great job here by Impact.
Rip those SCVs.
Yeah, FanTaSy has so little left at this point. His income is dried up to almost nothing. Seems like he wants to stay, maybe because he killed enough hatcheries that he feels like he should still fight it out.
I mean, this is maybe getting towards a FanTaSy GG. He's, I guess, being optimistic here. Oh, I forgot the mine stealth again when you researched that. Nice.
Yeah.
But yeah, he just has nothing.
He has so little.
Ooh.
Some great mine hits, for sure.
I mean, maybe there's... no. No, okay, there's actually nothing. Wow, gets the last second hit off onto those mutas.
Get that one Swarm Host again. I really do wonder how this always happens.
It is actually a really common mistake.
I feel like it's a meme that I've just missed. So you're just like, yeah, you just make the one Swarm Host when you got the game.
What is that? Like, I get... No, I don't get it. That's just actually weird.
Once upon a time, Storm Hosts were not used at all, so maybe it comes from that. Anyways, whatever. Impact wins that game. Now, this is the moment of truth. Does FanTaSy, having lost, you know, pretty one-sidedly there with Bioplay, does he go back into his version of mech? When everything is on the line, when you are one game from elimination here, do you go back into that other style?
You got to put all your cards on the table. I mean, FanTaSy knows he is one game away. I think for really surprising a lot of people. Honestly, you know, he hasn't been in the GSL for a very long time. He did his military service and is coming back. And Impact, that entire time, has been crushing it. Tons of improvement. And so for FanTaSy, this is a big statement to make. It's not only can you advance out of your group, but can you come back after you've attempted something and failed with a style that seems to be the best thing you can offer.
Yeah, well, we don't know what's going on inside his head right now other than the fact he needs to win this next game. And this is a guy that will not fold under pressure. So we're going to see the best he has. Here we go.
Regeneration. 게임이 시작됩니다. 뉴 리파브넌시 게임 준비 완료.
Here we go. All right. This guy.
Yeah.
This guy.
This is a great thing to see that he's just a normal mortal like everyone else.
Dude, and in truth,
lose a game, double proxy Rex.
Dude, didn't Maru do
Triple.
this as well? Well, he didn't lose a game, but he's just like, he gets into the last series and it's like, here's how I'm going to win. And he just goes and proxies it.
A lot of baller Terrans will do this, and a lot of bad Terrans do it too. It's just a Terran thing, you know? Down a game, up a game, doesn't matter. Just use the triple. Well, this is triple, right? So it's a little bit different.
Well, our observer's showing us potential heartbreak, because that Overlord is not pathing towards the proxy rack's location. Second one, I think he's going to miss it as well.
It's kind of extra funny, too, because Impact did go pool first in the first game. But he did not this game. This is a hatchery first. Well, I'm excited. Against this 3 racks play, you can't save the hatchery. So pulling back is generally the way that you want to do it.
I was waiting to see that idle SCV if it built a 4th, because that's just when you're really going for it. But he will actually scout it, so this is
He
nice.
sees 2 of the barracks.
Okay. I think he might be able to tell from what comes out of them, obviously, what's going on.
Well, yeah, since there are 2 proxy barracks, he knows that this is a Marine rush, but he did not scout the 3rd, so he might think he has a better chance to hold this than he does.
Yes.
He's making the Roach Horn, so, okay, he's making the better choice here.
Yeah, I mean, you have only a few seconds in a lot of situations where you have to go with the right number, the right amount of stuff.
Yeah.
And if you misjudge that, that's a huge edge.
No, totally. the 3 drones kind of enforced no bunker on the high ground, which is something that could be scary. Now, how hard is FanTaSy going to push this? He's getting 2 gases at home, which is cutting into his marine production a little bit. I guess the one thing I got to say is he has to kill this hatchery. We saw a mistake like that from... Who was it? Trying to remember, having a hard time. Anyways, there was a Terran that was doing the 3x bunny over and over, right?
Ah,
In the game where he super committed on Solar and tried to kill him, that was the second time he did the 3x. That was the game where he got really far behind them, but then still won against the 1-1 roach timing.
Oh, yeah. Okay,
But
all right.
yeah, it's basically, it's like if you go up the ramp, it gives them potential to save everything, but it gives you potential for the victory. If you don't go up the ramp, they live and the game goes on. But you get the hatch 100%. So it's just, that's what I was trying to talk about, and then I went on a trip down memory lane.
I mean, those games were truly the most memorable of GSL so far. So those are good memories to have. Oh, all right. Well, he did get the hatchery. Obviously, he's going to Ravager bust his way out of here, like, eventually. And I want to see if FanTaSy knows when it's time to hold him and fold him and pick up and get out of here. Oh, what is that?
Oh, yeah, you don't want that to happen.
All right, so finally going to try to go for it. I don't know if I guess he's going to bust 1 bunker.
Yeah.
I mean, that's not the end.
No, but he can get it all. Like, just throwing the biles down, giving you that kind of extra bit of damage.
Oh, did he get the queen? Assassin SCVs! No, so close again. So far,
Good save.
2 HP.
Good save. He ended up making more Ravagers than I think he truly wanted. Guess it'll be all right. Already making those Marines at home.
Didn't actually wind up saving really anything, so I'm always like a little torn. It's like, well, do you leave before you've put on the maximum amount of pressure and save some stuff, or do you stay there, maybe pick off that 2 HP queen?
Well, I think he ended up doing enough for now. He does have the Overlord because we have actually siege tanks being made as opposed to Cyclones.
Oh, I was like 1 file away from going down.
Don't want that to die. That's the one reason you can still do damage here.
Oh, I thought he was going to shove the Marines out of the bunker and try to go for it. Because you can go down that ramp a little bit and get a concave on it.
Yeah, that's kind of fair. Got to be careful. You start losing Marines. It's not a good place to be in. It's a stim again, by the way. Which, obviously, it's going to be harder to go into mech from a build like this.
Yeah.
So, can't really blame him. I think it comes down to the opening is more important than the actual overall strategy in a game like this.
Continuing to harass, but it looks like at least Impact knows when it's time to go home. Of course, not a lot of things you can do when Siege comes up, so.
Okay, I think the game will normalize a bit from here. Here's a question.
All right.
Does Impact go for a 1-1 timing again?
I would say yes. I feel like the consistent, the constant even, is him trying to play aggressively and like he's testing timings. I felt like TY was given the answer key to the test he took earlier, but I think FanTaSy is more of the kind of guy to just try really hard and hope he's smart enough. Ooh. Okay.
Well, only 1 Evo going down right now. Don't know if that's a mistake or he only wants 1.
I mean, he is droning behind this, so I'm not sure if he's... Oh, there's the second one.
Okay.
All right.
So you definitely want both the upgrades if you're going to do nothing but make those units for the next several minutes.
So what is FanTaSy doing behind this? I mean, obviously, he's just going to get stim upgrades and try to, I guess, recover from here. Both players kind of in that position. I don't know, it's always hard for me to judge who came out ahead, because it is such a nebulous concept, that advantage. Just like that Mewtwo quote, it's not how you start off in life. It's what you do with what you're given.
Oh,
yes,
okay.
the time that you're given.
Okay. I didn't know that was a Mewtwo quote.
It is.
Is that from the movie?
It is by far the best part of the movie.
Oh yeah, when Mewtwo comes out, that's
Yeah.
when the movie gets good.
Pokemon the movie 2000, the year the best Backstreet Boys album came out.
Is that the year that the original movie came out?
Yeah, I believe so. Unless my childhood is just totally misremembered.
It's a good movie.
Here we go.
Yeah, here comes the 1-1 as well on those roaches, so it looks like it should be the same build. Ooh, a little bit of a mistake in the unload there.
Gonna get it?
It's really
Yes.
costing him some damage, too.
It is, but he does get that queen, so maybe revenge for leaving that previous queen only 1 HP. And he gets out. He only lost a couple of Marines.
For the time being, more drones being made right now. Impact wants to get up to very good saturation, so he can really pump out roaches. FanTaSy continuing his upgrades, getting that 1-1. He does have his 3rd command already, but we haven't seen it land. I think he's actually floating it right this moment.
Okay, he's learned how to move his things out of the range of files. Sick. They're learning. But here comes the 3rd base for FanTaSy. I felt like, you know, this is 1-1 finishing up for Impact, and I want to see if this is where he goes for it. He does have a few roaches in production, but it's not like that big swell of overlords for when you really want to pound that roach key.
He's got the drop overlord and everything, man. Like he is ready for it. It's exactly the same thing going to be coming up.
Well, once again, we get a chance to see if the player can learn how to beat the build to beat them. Leenock couldn't do it. Can FanTaSy do it here to Impact?
Well, I'm not sure how many siege tanks he has. I'd love to see the setup of the 3rd base. So that's going to be obviously the first place that gets hit. He sees that drop overlord. He's seen a lot of roaches and ravagers.
Yeah, it won't be a mystery what's coming here.
No, I think not.
You don't need the double-brimmed detective hat to figure out this. Well, I didn't see any siege tanks when he showed us that last view of the base. So I'm still waiting to see how well defended the 3rd is.
Yeah.
Oh, here's that big roach swell.
Whoa.
No way! Galaxy Brain FanTaSy. Oh my god, you did it! You did it!
Wow.
You did!
That was good, I guess. So I mean, if that was there to catch that, good on him.
Oh, he big-brained that so hard. What
Spire coming. Impact has not maxed out on roaches or anything. He's making more drones now. Huh.
Well, I would say that the mutas were initially not exactly what Impact needed in the last game.
Burrow movement and burrow.
Ooh.
Oh, now I'm getting excited.
I like it.
I love it.
I want some more of it.
You're going to get some more of it.
Wow. This is just such a great game. I guess that's unscouted, unless maybe there's the magic scan. The start set's pretty on point for FanTaSy after catching that last drop. So maybe he can keep it going. What else is there going to be? I guess it's just further continued upgrades.
Yeah. I mean, the fact that he's macroed up to 75 drones, and obviously FanTaSy is going to continue those upgrades. That's what you have to do as Terran here. Excited, though, to just kind of see, like, remember last game we saw Impact trade out roaches?
Yeah.
I think his trade out plan this time involves burrow and burrow movement.
Well, it's a good way
Because
to
he's got that
guarantee
Spire.
that they're going to get there.
Right? Yeah, he should be able to figure out something with them. It's kind of funny, though. More turrets are being made now because of the Spire that he scanned.
Oh.
So those will help against the burrow movement a little bit.
Oh, that's weird. You're getting double value out of that. Yeah, I'm surprised that Overlord doesn't burn. Everything's on fire. Ugh. Well, here we go. We're starting to see FanTaSy continue to sort of, like I said, stress test the little tiny avenues of attack that he has. One in the top, one in the bottom. It's going to give him an opportunity to see the unit composition here, but he won't see anything out of the Spire. And he definitely won't see those things.
No, not yet.
Dun, dun.
Well,
The
there's a
Jaws
turret right
roaches on the way. I wonder if you try to drop them in with a dropper lord. Makes it good morph that. that's like you
drop
really
in the burrow movement roaches, fall out of the Overlord like they're seals out of a plane, just immediately go underwater.
Seals out of a plane. What movie didn't I watch?
Oh, like Navy SEALs.
Oh, okay. I was thinking actual seals. I was like, well, yeah, I guess you could.
It's called Seals on a Plane.
Oh, okay. It's
Get these damn seals off this damn plane!
All right.
Well, these roaches are not trading out as well as they did last game, that's for sure.
Yes.
It looks like they will end up doing basically nothing.
I mean, yeah, this is...
I mean, it's okay, I guess.
Not the... Yeah, if you keep making business deals like that, you'll never be president.
All right.
Gonna target down that hatchery. That's a pretty good deal for FanTaSy to make. He picks up, gets out. Corruptors. Corruptors. There we go. All right, I fixed it. Gonna come out and chase those medevacs away. Where's that boost at?
Just a second.
There we go. All right. I knew there had to be a way that they would survive for no good reason.
A lot of FanTaSy things survive when you don't think that they will. Okay, so it's been kind of weird, right? Because Impact has done so many little moves and attempts at doing something, and really nothing's worked for him. He's getting a hell of a lot of Ling Bane right now, though. It's truly quite a bit.
It certainly is. He's also finishing up a couple of his last few upgrades, finally hitting that Ultra Den, but I don't even know if that's really going to come into effect. Such a gigantic army supply, some good connections, but this Ling counterattack on the other side, wrapping around to hit that 9 o'clock. His Banes are connecting maybe a little bit too much, or at least more than I expected.
Well, he's hitting a lot of like Marauders and tanks and stuff with them too, though. Ooh, that was a really good connect.
That was the juicy one. Some good repairs, this Planetary holding its own, but I think in the end it will probably go down. Continuing to micro on the front. And the bio does survive enough to keep playing this back and forth game. No way. All right, repair's pretty good, Artosis.
Yeah, that's all right. Well, let's see if the Banelings can kill this Thor. Go Banelings.
Well.
I tell you what, those Corruptors, really worth a lot during all this in a certain way. They've killed a lot of medevacs.
I mean, resetting the medevac count is one way to inadvertently, kind of indirectly affect the bio, because it just doesn't get healed, it doesn't get picked up, it stays there and it dies.
Not just that, if you're, teching up as well to anything, it uses up Starport build time to make more and money to make more. So that can lower the Liberator count, which is something you definitely want to use against Ultras, or even a Viking count if you're going into Brutes.
Yeah, two things that we've seen be really iconic for FanTaSy is that he doesn't, or his Liberators and his Hellion run-bys. We got neither of those with this style. So that's actually kind of cool. I like that he scanned to see the burrowed Ling there, so all of a sudden it triggers that, hey, there's burrowed stuff, so it doesn't walk over Banes in the future.
It's quite true indeed. Leenock will try to set up those traps. We've definitely seen him use them in the past.
Well, he's going to get a free hatchery here. A whole lot of things in a row coming up FanTaSy, Artosis.
It's okay to lose a hatch right now. I think obviously it's not great or anything, but he has chitinous plating and +3 melee and +2 melee and +3 carapace on the way with Ultras. And when you get all that together, that is like a really big moment. The Ultras become so much more powerful.
You got to get all that together. There's a couple of Ultras out, but they're just popping.
Oh, he doesn't have those armor upgrades done yet. He feels like he has to hit now.
Huge mind hit right there. Instant scan to kill the burrowed Banelings. That Thor worth its weight. Is he? Okay, I thought he was shooting a Thor there for a second. The Thor will outlive just about everything down there, and Corruptors can't take it out.
I feel like that was an anti-timing. He already lost the hatchery, and he fully engaged right before chitinous plating, right before +3. I think he could have retreated a little bit, like acted like he was attacking, retreat a little bit, have those upgrades finish, and he actually wins that fight instead of loses it.
Watch this burrow. Oh, is he going to burrow the mine? And boom goes the dynamite. Maybe he could have retargeted on those Corruptors, but either way, no, I totally agree. That Ultra timing just dead, stopped in its tracks. So, I mean, I guess things are going pretty well for FanTaSy. He's got a giant supply lead, certainly.
I'd love to see a few Queens coming out with these Ultras. Definitely something that can help out, give them a bit more longevity. If you are...
Longevity.
Yeah, longevity. But it gives you,
longevity.
Some longevity, yeah.
There we go.
There's something wrong here, isn't there?
Some longitude.
Gives him a bit more longitude, yeah.
Yeah, there we go. Not latitude, man. That's the wrong word, definitely.
Well, FanTaSy's giving him a bit of latitude by coming back here and clean up these links.
He certainly is, Artosis. A nice mind hit right there to kind of soften things up a little bit. I wonder if that's the secret. You just go like mass mines and force the Ultras to run through them.
Maybe.
Oh, dude, there it is! The one Swarm Host.
Maybe he means to make it.
What is that like?
You can set off Widow Mines with this. That's cool.
Is that No. Okay, no, that's totally ridiculous.
Well, it does set him off, though.
Yes, I can't argue with that, Artos. Here come the mass mine hits.
Oh!
Ooh, suck it, Corruptors.
Oh my god, and so many Marauders in there as well.
Nice run by behind this, but I mean, is this critical mass for FanTaSy? He's gonna keep poking with the Thor. He's got a little bit of bio back home to defend. Push keeps coming.
Yeah, this is looking pretty bad for Impact right now. Those mines are like really, really scary.
Oh, he's gonna try for friendly fire. That's actually well done there, but a couple of them left over, stopping up the Ultras. The bio there, a lot of Marauders here. Actually, they power through the Ultralisks.
Yeah, it doesn't quite end up doing it. It looks
I
like
think we did it, GG. FanTaSy coming back.
Yeah. So the Proxy 3 Barracks play, he ends up winning in the end after that, after killing that natural expansion. Impact played well, though. Like, you know, kind of going through everything in my head, like, is FanTaSy going to stay on this bio play and keep going that way? It definitely is a possibility. Like, we actually don't know for sure what style is FanTaSy's best yet, because don't forget that other style is so new. So he probably has a better idea in his head of what is going to work here. I know that it looked just amazing against Leenock, and we generally consider Leenock to be a better macro player than Impact.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm just very, very curious right now.
Well, that's the thing. I have so much curiosity about FanTaSy, and I love when I am curious about something and I am given an amazing answer. I think FanTaSy has come up with quite a few of those, but Impact is his final boss to advance on to the round of 16. None of the old school players have been able to come back and advance to the next round. FanTaSy might be the first one.
마운틴듀 GSL 시즌1 리제너레이션 게임이 시작됩니다. 사이버 포레스트 게임 준비 완료.
Bottom right, the blue.
임팩트.
In the upper right in the red, it's our Terran player.
플레이어 1 판타지.
Yeah, there it is. A lot of hype for the comeback. Our producer is actually just telling us that a lot of FanTaSy's friends from the military. He's one of the kind of a rare breed of players who have gone to the military, completed their service, and coming back. So a lot of his old Army friends came down to support him at GSL today.
Very cool.
Yeah.
This drone really scouting for proxies right now. And it is a pull first. Of course, we can see that he is not proxying. Instead, it looks like pretty standard, probably a Reaper expansion. So this pull first likely will just be that exact same Ling run by. Yeah, he's scouted just about everywhere. Impact does not want to lose to that crap again.
Yeah.
I think Impact is actually pretty confident. To be honest, if you look at both of those games,
Okay.
it feels to me like Impact has everything it takes to beat FanTaSy heads up in the bio versus just Impact Zerg, right? Because if you like look at those games, the game that FanTaSy won, and it wasn't like one side, he didn't bash him, was the one where he did the 3 proxy racks. So we see Impact really scout for that and then continue onwards, right? So what I'm kind of feeling from Impact is that confidence here.
And I think what he's trying to do is say, okay, what do I have to do so the game looks like game 1 and not game 2? And that's exactly what he did. So not only does he stave off the Reaper, he runs around it, he's still going to get the cancel here, and now we get a chance to see if he's going to trade these Lings to try to kill some SCVs, and we're going to see a repeat of game 1 here, because FanTaSy actually microed that remarkably well. He's going to try to do it again, but this time, already losing a little bit too many SCVs. He's got double Marines, though, and the Reaper back.
Ooh.
Sick lift on the depots.
All right, same amount of damage as the previous time, 2 SCVs dead.
Yeah.
You know, obviously, this does a couple other things as well, but wasn't as successful, I think, as Impact really wanted.
Yeah, for sure, especially if you're going to scout with the drone and kind of make sure that this happens, and then that is not that good. So, yeah, is he going to catch the drone?
Yeah, he's looking for it.
Oh, got him!
That's so annoying for a Zerg.
No way he gets this down. No! Okay.
Yeah, just barely.
Dude,
not.
another heartbreaker. That's 2 times.
Yeah.
Impact. Once versus TY, and now here versus FanTaSy. Gets that hatchery canceled.
It's painful.
Oh, he's going to get it. There's no way he catches the next drone, right? Oh, he stuck by.
Oh, nice.
All right, Reaper
All right.
sleeping on the job.
Good job on Impact there. So Impact making a few extra lings right now, getting his speed. Our Hellions being produced, and of course, FanTaSy insta-drop that third command center. So that is just about done. Third command center finishing around the same time the third hatch starts. Wow, that's pretty good for Terran.
It definitely is, and it seems like he's kind of realizing, okay, what are the places that I can kind of leverage a little bit of an advantage now that I'm kind of familiarizing myself with Impact style. So he knows exactly what this is going to look like, but he doesn't predict the extra link flood.
This is kind of cool, but there are Hellions on the ramp, so this could go haywire as well.
It definitely could, or live wire is the case of the flavor of the Mountain Dew. He's going to just blow everything up. The Zerglings had a code red.
Oh my god. These games today have just been a Baja blast, if you ask me.
Oh, they certainly have our toast. We're both going to check our PayPals later for the payoff on those. What was the other one? There was the grape flavor too. Is it Midnight?
Oh, I don't know. I never heard of that one.
That one was actually by far the worst.
Too long.
Dude, he's back at it again. The hell? What was this called? He was the Terran Terrorist.
Yeah, the Terrorist Terran was his nickname because he would just kill so many workers every game.
Yeah. He's back at it again. He's like, wait, I get flamethrowers now? Sick.
Yeah,
I love it. He's going back to this mech style. I do think Impact has kind of got his number a little bit with these lings, but he's consistently met at every turn by Hellions back to defend. And good depot lift.
The harassment from both sides has been pretty decent. Like, he killed a decent amount of SCVs with it, but there was a third command center so quick, I don't think it matters that much. Obviously, we saw FanTaSy chunk off an okay amount of drones. Only 6, though. It's not as much as some of these other games.
All right, well, things really back and forth, but I do love the idea that FanTaSy is going to go back to that mech style. It's actually not quite that mech style. I don't think he has any Cyclones out yet.
Not yet. I think he's getting a tank or 2 for defensive purposes.
Okay.
Because those are like kind of, if you're only going to have 1 or 2 units, those are the ones to have to really make sure you don't die to anything.
I like it.
And the kind of aggression, the constant ling harassment we've been seeing, those will clean that up very well.
Yeah, really, man, I love that FanTaSy, he's not like he's a robot just doing the same build over and over again. He knows how to adjust it on the fly. Definitely a hallmark of a very tenured player.
Yeah, and it's really important to note he is a champion. And there's such a difference between a champion and just someone that's really good and been really good for a while. If you're actually a champion like this, you have this huge range where you are going to do things like react correctly or, change it up when you need to.
Also, I feel like Brood War champions are a lot rarer than champions in a lot of other games, or even in StarCraft 2, because you just had such a dominant period of time of a small number of players winning everything.
A bunch of people kept winning over and over.
Yes.
To be fair, StarCraft 2 is kind of like that as well. There's a lot of people that have 2 championships.
That's true.
Yeah, so...
There were also much more tournaments for StarCraft 2 than there were for StarCraft 1.
Well, I'm talking like GSLs, and OSLs, MSLs, those things. Like, I don't... Like,
I get the comparison.
I mean, you can say whatever you want. Tasia, yeah, he was a great player, but he doesn't have a GSL, okay? I'm not counting beating all the foreigners
Not
back then.
yet, Artosis.
Yeah.
It's coming back.
Nidus.
Well, here we go. Yeah, there is a Nidus. I think we're going to see a more pointed attempt at ending this game. Impact saying, look, I know where this is going. I don't like what it looked like versus Leenock. I want to hit you before it hurts.
I think it's an okay thing to try, an okay idea, because definitely you saw what happened to Leenock when Leenock played macro against it.
Well, I got to say, Artos is the new Nidus, right? We were talking about this a little bit earlier. Heavy armor, but man, once you hit it with Magfield lock-on,
oh yeah, it'll get cleaned, but these will be out of position because FanTaSy keeps all his units on your side of the map.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, he's consistent with the harassment. Maybe that last Hellion run by didn't do that well, but like he's getting out there, right? He's down 50 supply to Roaches.
He might have seen the Roaches go up the ramp, so that would give it away as well. But okay, he sees it because of the depot moving back. He has tanks here, so that's obviously gigantic.
Yeah, he's in position, but you can always just hit another place. He's going to be running into siege tank fire. Maybe he's just got too much here. That is a lot of roaches.
Well, I mean, if you're only going to bring one siege tank up, this is definitely something that can be clean.
I wonder if that's better for FanTaSy. No, it's definitely not. No, I answered my own question right there.
Like the drones in there.
Well, you got to have something to build the manor hatchery, right?
Build the spores. No, this isn't ZVZ. Come on.
Oh, ravaging the main. Finally, I think he's going to kill off the Nidus behind this, but he still has to deal with a massive roach army, getting the value lock-ons here. Lots of damage from those cyclones. The mag field accelerator, of course, helping. But he's going to re-Nidus here. I think, where did he actually wind up throwing that down?
God. I mean, there's a lot of stuff dying here. He's actually uses it to run the roaches out. I love it. But he is breaking through into the natural now. This is getting just too tough. I don't know, man. It seems to me like FanTaSy's taking too much damage.
He's going to siege on the high ground. That's good. There's no way to view that high ground if I'm not mistaken. So that tank's going to get a lot of shots off. The Ravagers can't take it out. You're right, but I mean, he's lost 14 SCVs. Is that too many? I think so. There's not a lot of army left here. It's 32 to 84.
I'm kind of worried about the amount of buildings that are being killed. Oh, FanTaSy like might end up clearing this out, and okay, we have to look at this. How does FanTaSy actually come back in this situation? Because we know he's not about to give up, right?
No.
I mean, I guess he could.
So he's gonna try to like pull back, stabilize in the main, and then get value off of lock-ons. But he can't afford to keep losing units. Certainly that siege tank is down. That's a huge value. He's finally gonna lose the high ground siege tanks thanks to that overseer lifting up and giving him that vision.
He's starting to get pretty efficient.
Yeah?
Yeah, like look at this, the losses.
Going up.
Yeah, it's actually pretty even. The one thing that we can say is there are 3 command centers for FanTaSy still. And there's actually only 3 bases for impact. He's taking a 4th, but he doesn't actually have a 4th yet.
He's continuing to poke out and get these lock-ons. And with mag field accelerator, you really do kill stuff actually so fast. It's value, but I don't know if it's enough value.
I think you siege that tank too closely, maybe. And now with the Lings in here, that makes the lock-ons a lot harder.
He does lose another tank. He's trying to lock on and take out that extra overseer tank on the high ground. Ooh, that just barely not in time. And I think that is going to do it, Artosis.
I think that is it. I don't think that there's any chance.
Got 2 Cyclones, 2 Hellions, a tank, and a Dream. And no more wall in the front. So here we go. We're pulling the boys. Now or never, do or die. I think Impact's doing it, and FanTaSy is about to die.
You know what? It's kind of sad to see FanTaSy go because he's such a big name, and it's so exciting to have him back. GG. But we get a 3rd Zerg.
It is truly a sad day for all of our returning old school players. But I think out of all of them, surprisingly, FanTaSy has done the best. 1 game away from advancing on to the next round, dangerously close. And I think even though it is sad to see him go, it is still very happy to see such a stellar performance from him today.
Yeah, no, I loved this style that he brought, and it was super cool. Good play by Impact, though. You got to hand it to him.
Oh, yeah.
He really spread him thin. He kind of like abused the overall idea that FanTaSy was going for, right?
Let's head into our interview.
Yeah.
Take it away, Brian.
It's the runner-up of Group G, Impact. Congratulations.
네, 작년 16강 진출을 생애 처음으로 이룬 이후
You made your first round of 16 last year, and this is your second one. How do you feel?
일단 저 봤을 때
When I looked at the groups, I thought it was an affordable one. But as I have practiced a lot of reps, I heard a lot of stories about Leenock and FanTaSy playing really well. So I thought it was going to be a difficult one. But despite all the arduous games, I made it through, so I'm content about it. No, in the deciders match, you started off with the 6 links, but you didn't get much advantage out of it. So, how did you feel about the game?
솔직히 명훈이 형을 이기고 올라가서 기분이 계속 좋지는 않고.
I don't feel too great about beating FanTaSy out because prior to the matches, we talked together and then we promised that both of us to make it through the groups.
탑인 거 자체가 되게 대단한
No,
것
I
같아요.
think it's very impressive that after his discharge from the military service, he can put up such a impressive performance.
전태양 선수도 그런 예선전에서
No, TY mentioned earlier in this interview that he lost to your Nidus pills, and you showcased it again today.
이유가 있었을까요?
No, was there a reason why you didn't reveal it versus TY?
무조건
No.
의식하겠다 생각을 했어요.
I used it before, so I knew TY was gonna keep that in mind. So
그래서 땅콩말 대신에 이제
I decided to
선택했는데
choose a roundabouts and not go with the Nidus. However, the games were just like completely destroyed on my end, so I felt really bad about it and regrettable in regards to that.
확실히 이제 오프라인에서 성적을 보여주시는 것
I think now you're starting to kind of shine on the offline events, and you'll be heading off to Katowice soon. How do you feel about discrepancy between offline and online matches?
마지막으로 생각하고 열심히 하고 있고
I consider this as my final year, so I'm trying my tails off. And when I'm going through the reps, I think I kind of like slacked off while doing so. No. Right now, even a single rep, I consider it as my final match. So I'm grinding out really hard, and I think the results are starting to demonstrate that.
마지막으로 팬들에게 한마디.
Any last words to the fans?
제가 그래도 이렇게 2연속으로 16강 어영부영 가긴 했는데 되게
I think I somehow managed to make my way for the second time to the round of 16.
온라인에서 잘한다고 생각하시잖아요.
A lot of people have this impression that I'm better in online. I think I feel great by proving that I'm capable of doing so on offline as well. I'll try my best to reach as high as possible.
아닙니다. 실력으로 16강 진출을 이뤄낸 김준혁 선수에게 다시 한번 뜨거운 박수 부탁드립니다.
감사합니다.
All right. Thank you so much, Brian. Great translation as always. And here are our final results.
Such a good day of games here in GSL. I mean, seeing FanTaSy come back, seeing Impact really surge there, especially at the end, and seeing TY like booster rocket his way out of this group as just an incredible player. But speaking of incredible players, Artosis.
Yeah, we have a chance for a fourth Zerg to make it through. I think Rogue definitely has a good shot. Zest is in peak form lately. And Patience has actually been surprisingly strong in the offseason.
Dude, he's got that glasses game. If Impact can advance with the glasses, maybe his fellow D-Pix member can do it as well.
All right. So that is going to be our group for... Wait, no. What day of the week are we on? We're on Saturday now. That would be Wednesday then.
Which day is it? Oh my goodness. I'm so thrown off. There's been a lot of
Saturday, which means tomorrow is ASL.
That's right.
And then Tuesday is ASL, and Wednesday is that last group in GSL.
Don't miss it.
Make sure you tune in.
Thanks for watching. We'll see you later.
This is my world.
Let's make it count.
I must practice tolerance.
GSL Season 1 Regeneration.